Hola amigos, estamos aquí otra vez para hacer otro video de opiniones con Fanny.
Hola, estoy aquí otra vez.
En este video vamos a hablar un poquito de las universidades y la educación en general y cómo nos funciona ahorita, pero cómo podría tal vez ser un poco mejor o cuáles son nuestras opiniones siendo los dos graduados de universidades y con carreras superiores. When we were growing up, they were telling us all the time that we needed to do a career, like study, and that if you would study, pretty much the world was gonna be there for you. That you were gonna get a good job, and the people that would not study were gonna lag behind. So most of the millennials, which is now known, we have a lot of diplomas. We're the generation that is the most educated of everyone, but there is a general feeling that kind of it was lied. It was a big lie for all of us because at the end of the day, we did not feel that job, dream job, or whatever, or that future that was bright and perfect, and representing all the efforts that we did during the university years, never reached us there.
I think that what they say was not necessarily a lie. Like it was true when we were younger kids. It was true that if you had higher degree of education, it did give you access to more opportunities. It's just the saturation of the market and like the boomers still bring present just made that there's less and less job and available, and so everyone's like the field become really competitive, and everyone is the requirements are getting really high for even entry level job in certain fields.
Okay, so you're mentioning that right now there is like a big competition, but places like universities or any education where you need to pay, they don't say that. They say, oh, you didn't find a job, come and get another degree. You can get a specialization and a diploma, this and that. What do you think about this? Do you think that they are like just acting as a business itself without caring about us?
First, I do think that they advertise well enough, like the people that currently finish school, how many were able to get a job in that field.
In your field, it's a little bit different because your field was growing and booming by the time you started.
You wanna
Yeah, the jobs were clear there, and it's kind of like, well, all programmers are gonna do this type of jobs, and it was clear and straightforward. For the case of other type of fields like my field or arts or psychology or HR, all those little like fields, there is not such a straightforward path. So yeah, universities did very good on your end, but I don't feel like they do very good on a bunch of ends.
You were saying, does it feel like a business? Well, yeah, it almost like it is entirely a business because it doesn't matter. Like it's so important the diploma, and you essentially need to pay to have the skill. Nowadays, no, you need the diploma, and then you can learn it like everyone else. But you need the paper. You need to pay to get the paper that will tell you can work, pretty much. Which is kind of garbage because all those knowledge and everything like were accumulated throughout like centuries and centuries of history and everything. Like why do we need to pay for something that we like that was like built on upon our entire like history? Why do we need to pay for those knowledge?
And there you pinpoint into another point of the education itself. Why are universities, mainly private universities, and in Canada, pretty much all universities, are able to capitalize on something that is so abstract? Why, as a society, do we allow that a few capitalize on something that is not theirs?
We, as much as we can Google and get all this information, like it's the same thing that we have access to all the knowledge on the internet. Why wouldn't it be the same for like I get like teachers and everything should be paid like via the government or something for their job for teaching the people. I get like it's a job full time, that's fine. But why do we need to pay so much
But like in Mexico, we have public schools and private schools. The public schools are given by the government pays and everything, and like we as students, we paid a very minimum amount. But there is the other section that is fully private schools, and all the private universities can be as expensive as a university here. Mm. And but at the end of the day, you both get the same degree, but interestingly, the people that come out from the private schools tend to get more opportunities.
Has like a prestige around it, just.
And there's been a lot of studies on why, even though the public schools are way more competitive, the private school is not getting you the knowledge, because the knowledge you get it by the same. So we're not paying for the knowledge. Yeah. If you are in the private school, you're gonna network with a bunch of rich people. And that networking is gonna eventually, like, it's gonna show you where the rich people go, where the rich people hang out, where the rich people, like, the parents of all your classmates are gonna be all these like higher ups in companies and like CEOs and whatever.
So you build your LinkedIn.
So you build your own LinkedIn while being there. So the point where I wanna go is often. You study 4 or 5, well, actually, you don't study 4 years. You study 16 years to like 18 years to be able to get a little paper that is going to say that you are this something. But at the end of the day, when you go out, all that knowledge that you have that is so broad and vast is going to worth nothing, because you're not going to use none of those sources. And you're just going to go to a company that is going to teach you how to do the things their way. Mm-hmm. And you know all these things, but at the end, they are just going to tell you, do task A, B, and C, and that's what you're trying to do. So, in here, what's the point?
I do absolutely think some of it is useful. Mm-hmm. Like, to be able to get to a point where you're able to solve rational thinking, and like, how do I solve this problem? How do I search how to solve this problem, pretty much, and then you get into a job and, I don't know how to do, but I have the tools to be able to deal with whatever problem comes at me, pretty much.
So that's the other thing. Like, if the whole idea of university is teaching you all these soft skills, why they don't teach those? Why they teach you all this other stuff, and they make you go to at 18 years old, they make you go to a specific domain that is going to mark your life, because once you chose something, it's hard to get out of that. Why don't we teach broader domains and teach a bunch of soft skills that could be used in the domain?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get what you're saying, and it's a little tangent, but at the same time as well, you were saying, why do we show it this way? We're also, I don't know if that's the case for you in Mexico, but in here, we're also not showing basic things like how to handle a budget, how cooking 101. We're not showing anything that can actually be helpful for adult life.
In the first years, let's say all the way to high school, that they teach you all this.
The basic.
The basic geography, history, this and that. That's fine. That's fine, because it teaches you. They are teaching you a way to study. They are teaching you a way to learn. They are teaching you to and the basics of pretty much everything. So you have a general culture. But once you get into university, I think it would be way better to say, you know what? I want to learn. I want to go into science. That's it. And science will take over a bunch of different sciences that you can have small topics of all of them. A broad knowledge. You're going to be more knowledgeable on science than a normal person.
Yeah.
But they're going to teach you all the soft skills that you need to succeed in science.
Yeah.
And, of course, going back to the fact that the universities are business, it's so profitable for universities that you go into a full field. You finish your whole degree, and then you come back to do another one because you hate that one. So for them,
you couldn't find a job or something.
That's the point. The universities are never gonna change the way of doing things, and they are never gonna teach us the right things that they should if it keeps being profitable for them, which it is right now. So, and I think we talk about it in our previous in the Utopia, that I'm going to leave it right here. As soon as we treat public services as businesses, like nothing is gonna get better. Because if a university is a business, they are not gonna do a good job because they are not giving us a service. They are just trying to
maximize profits.
Yeah, so they don't give a single shit if you got a job.
As people subscribe to the program, that's all they care.
Exactly. So
this whole like prestige thing, it's
the status of a university depends on a bunch of factors, but like some of them are how many papers the university like publishes in a year, how many researchers do they have, how many grad students, how many people do they enroll. Like, it's not being Harvard does not mean you're gonna get the best teachers in the world.
Just have more harsh like criteria to enter,
but it depends for the field as well.
Yeah.
You cannot generalize that Harvard on every single field is gonna be better. There is a whole, like, I would say mafia on the research world where like it's all based on how much you publish. That's what matters. The more you publish, the more money you get.
And
pretty much.
You need to pay to publish.
And so you pay the journals, all the journals for your paper to get published and reviewed, and then the journals charge others for them to access your research.
So instead of sharing that knowledge, once again, that goes into like
it's all a business.
Yeah.
And then again, if you publish more and if you go into these high rank papers, then you're as a group, you're better. So you will get more money because you publish in a better, the journals, what they do is that they check what is trendy and what will be able to sell more papers. Yeah. So the research is a business. And that's the central of a university. And the university itself is just a business. It doesn't work. Even the way that it's taught is so ridiculous. I saw in a video that like, why do they teach you in school to be by yourself, to study by yourself, do exams by yourself? You should not work like you do an exam, you need to be and take care that no one copies you. You should learn things by heart. You should do this and that. When in real world, none of those skills matter.
Well, no, that's one of the primary of like doctor. Remember everything by heart, and you're like, you have Google, like.
Nowadays, no.
Why the fuck do you?
No, but in general, for everything.
You need to know more than most people, but like, do you need to like? We're paying them so much for them to remember infinite garbage, like when they could just know basically and just have like a book or something that helps.
That's the thing. The main thing of a doctor, of a professional in general, is have the capacity of rationalize whatever is happening in your field.
Well, to be fair, for the most part, even if they do remember, they just go on trial and errors. They go, that case with this pill doesn't work. This pill, it's not like they rationalize that much.
All the skills that they teach you in university and in school in general are really not applicable, because once you are in the job market, what matters is that you can network, that you can teamwork, that you can you can be a leader, that you can adapt. Then those are the things that matter, that you can learn fast.
You can be as good or as smart as you want in your field. If no one wants to give you an opportunity, then why did you do all
So what is the solution? Get in a private school so you can be able to network without from school?
You don't need contacts if you have a parents that has his own company
or that your parents are well connected.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't need anything.
If they're well connected, they're probably rich as well. Lesson of the day: be born in a rich family. If not, kill yourself and hope you respawn into a richer family.
I don't know. Society is made up in a fucked up way, and of course no one wants to change anything because the powerful are benefiting of this. And muchas gracias por haber venido. Otro video que estuvo triste al final, que no tenemos nada bueno que decir, pero me parece importante abrir la discusión Y simplemente si algo no está funcionando, creo que es momento de hablar al respecto, de decir lo que no nos importa y de ponernos incómodos todos, porque a menos que no haya un problema, no hay razón para estar todos cómodos y en silencio. Entonces espero que les haya gustado. Déjenme aquí abajito lo que ustedes opinan de la universidad. ¿Ustedes sí piensan que funciona, que todo debería de seguir igual? ¿O qué tipo de cambios ustedes les gustaría ver en general en la educación y todo? Muchas gracias, Nico, por haber venido.
Suscríbanse.